fantastic. That's exactly what we have. Honorable Tender, thank you very much for that particular one. So let's cross back into the studio so we can now put that conversation into perspective. Morio, I'm going to come to you. But then, Lulu, there's something that you said that guys are saying, well, we need money in the pocket. We don't feel that we have, there's cash flow within the economy. Then you ask a very particular question. Where are the opportunities? Is that what you like the two to address, or the four of them on that debate to address?
I'd want all of them to address where are the opportunities,
yes.
Where are the jobs they're promising the youth. I mean, people get out of school after having their degrees and their certificates and all, but then they come out here and there's more than 1,000 students stomaching because we don't have jobs. Yes. Everyone is always promising promising these kids jobs, but where are the jobs? Where are the opportunities they have? I mean, what are they supposed to do after they're done with school? You know, you complain about them, being thugs or such things, but then what have you given them to yes. show, or even give them opportunities to do out here? Where?
Yes. That's a lacking part. Is that what you want them to talk about?
Exactly.
Like, this is exactly what we're going to do, and this is the plan, innit?
Exactly.
So does it make you feel a bit aggrieved then that Raila Amolo Odinga might not be on that table to address it?
But you see, being on the table or not,
yes.
is he actually addressing an opportunity for this person? I mean, is he caring about a youth out there? And for sure, once I'm in, I'm going to give you this post, or
yes.
I'm going to have 1,000 openings for all of you to do something. Are you actually speaking the truth, and is it going to happen? Because over and over, or even looking back, they're always talking about this, but to where is it? Am I wrong?
I like that you're putting that question to Morio. Morio, the two questions I want to respond to. Edwin, you asked a very particular question to Morio when we were on break. I want you to put him on the spot, because there has to respond to that question again by Lulu. Or is Lulu wrong when she says they have done it before, and she's saying whether they're on that table or not, what you want to hear is where are the opportunities? Edwin, you asked a very particular question. Would you? I can't ask it the way you asked it. Would you ask him again when he was talking about one being reformist and one? Yes.
Like to answer what he asked before we went on break.
Yes.
About the corruption issue. When we are talking about handling corruption, the institutions that handle corruption, even before the institutions, corruption starts individually from the person. If I am corrupt, Lulu is not. Morio may be corrupt, you not. And then we come to a society that has more corrupt people. How is that supposed to go? And then now it comes to corruption is handled by the law system, right? If this, like right now we have had an issue with the judiciary not getting funds to sort themselves out. Police are depending on the president's office for funding and all these other groupings. If they are not funded from the budget directly,
yes.
that means they need someone to give them permission so that they can handle corruption. That means they're not independent. Now that's where the problem comes in. And also addressing what Lulu said about the opportunities. Every year, about 800,000 students come to the job market. We only have about 50,000 positions in the corporate world. Small-scale businesses are about 100 to 150,000. So where do the other people go? Okay, to the question that you asked me to ask Morio. Yes. The question is, you were talking about, I was asking you about, from the personal perspective between these two, we call them the horses,
yes.
the two horses.
Yes.
From Raila Odinga's side and the Ruto side, during the COVID time, from a personal place, not even a political standing. What did each one of them do for the people from a personal perspective?
Morio, I mean, you've been put on the spot, man. I mean, respond to that. First start with Lulu.
Let me start with Lulu first. And I really sympathize with the youth of this country in terms of our active participation in these political processes. Because you realize the solutions to these problems lie within the parliament of this country and the structures of government. But you have cases where the youth feel that the political processes are reserved for those who, per se, you call them politicians. That's not the case. You know, countries like West Africa, you can have someone, like my good friend Muuna, who's a software engineer,
yes,
but actively involved in politics, and is not even referred to as a politician, because he knows that's a civil duty. The Article 1 of this Constitution rests the power to the population. So the population is very wide. You know, the youth are a target in any electioneering period because of their percentage. We form close to 60 of population, even from the voter register itself. But we are always divided. So the issues that my good sister is trying to raise, they'll never find audience, they'll never find solutions,
yes,
at all,
yes,
unless we team up as a voice and try and weed out this leadership. And by this leadership, I mean the outgoing Jubilee regime, that is the Uruto. You know, it was a joint ticket. That's why when I talk of a character of a person, I want for you to preach to me that you have an updated manifesto, which is twice mine. And in 2013, you talked of a digital, EduRoam Wi-Fi zones within the whole country. You talked of stadia, in fact, international stadia, which were historic, I don't know. You talked of, there are so many pledges that the front runner will be in the debate today. Actually, the moderators have some uphill task, because when you challenge that, the credentials of candidate X,
yes,
in this case, the UDA candidate, it makes no sense for the Azimio presidential, from where I'm seated, to appear, because we really know who Raila Odinga is, and
yes,
we don't know William Ruto is.
The concern is that, well, then we're challenging one, the other will not be challenged.
That's why I said the presidential debate,
yes,
is up to the presidential candidate. You understand?
But
the communication,
this duty, yes,
it's okay.
I'm
trying to be fair. I'm trying to be fair, because the presidential candidate has not pronounced himself on the same. So he might turn up.
But the team has already said.
It's okay. You know, this is a political season.
Yes.
So communication is key. It might be PR.
Yes.
What kind of a debate is this? It is a presidential debate.
Thank you.
And it is a presidential debate that requires
Muuna, we have 4 presidential candidates.
We have 4 presidential candidates.
We have 4 presidential candidates.
That's what I'm trying to say.
So
we have 4 presidential candidates.
If Oiga, Wajakoya, and Ruto turn up, well, good. We have the debate. For us, we presented our case to the people.
That's a youth speaking, by the way. And but it represents the voice of the rest of the youth.
Exactly.
The majority of them was there. Why are you running away from it? And we wanted you to represent those views, isn't it? Yeah.
Your candidate is one of the 2 horses.
And that's
you don't
fact.
show up.
And that's a fact.
From a layman, if you don't show up to your occasion, they take you as a coward. If I didn't come to this interview, for example, for maybe fear reasons, how would you take me? You would take me as a coward. And these people you are coming to ask for votes require you to answer to them. But because I won't wake up early in the morning to come and vote for you, and you don't show up.
I want to empower my good friend Muuna.
From that, it's a problem.
You see, you're not a stranger in Jerusalem. We really have to be honest.
This is
thank you.
Yes.
You surely you don't know who Raila Odinga is.
But would you say though?
Yeah.
I mean, everybody does know is on the basis
and what is stands
on that particular one. If you're saying that Edwin then doesn't know who Raila Odinga is, tonight would have been a perfect opportunity for him to introduce himself to Muuna.
I have a simple question to that effect. You talk about Raila Odinga as a reformist.
Exactly.
What happened after the handshake?
Thank you.
Is he still reforming?
Thank you.
He's actually in government, but he's not showing.
Which was the foundation of the Azimio la Umoja.
Yes, Morio. Even as you respond to that, Lulu, on this particular perspective, because if the issues that are going to talk about right now, that they should touch you passionately, Lulu, it's been a year as you've been running your business, and you're saying that tonight, what you would have loved to hear from the presidential candidates is just making it easy for you to run your business. Talk to me. Morio is going to respond to that as well after the handshake and all that, because even the handshake was in that pact for handshake, there was a lot of areas for the ease of doing business in this country, by the way. It was in that particular pact for the handshake. Lulu, it is 2022 and it's just 13 days to the general election. Do you feel that since you started up to now, it might be very difficult since you started, have things gotten easier for you, or they're getting a bit more difficult? And from what pain points are those? Could you name like two that are getting a bit more difficult for you doing business in this country?
Things are not getting any easier.
Yes.
And also, I think also the reason why is, as
Yes.
you said earlier, the youth don't have somebody to speak out for them. You know, a lot of youth in this country would want like a representative who would actually talk on their behalf,
Yes.
tell them, tell people out there what they really want, and things are actually done in place. But no one is there to address the issues.
Lulu, are you part of the problem? Morio, I'm coming to you. Are you part of the problem then? Because then you're saying, I don't care. I mean, whether it comes or not, whoever wins it, let's get done with this process, and whoever sends to that post, fine. Are you part of the problem by saying, I don't care, making them accountable, putting them where you want them to be, demanding that if you're going to be the president, if you're going to come and ask for my vote, then you gotta represent me on that stage that we the Kenyans have decided we're going to see you there? Are you part of the problem, Rulu, by saying, well, we'll fight it out, whichever way?
Just as Edwin had said,
yes,
if, for example, Raila backs out from the debate,
yes,
then why am I waking up early in the morning to also line up and vote for him? Why?
Morio, I think we're going to pick it like that.
Exactly.
In fact, answer that. Okay. If you back off, then why would I wake up very early in the morning to go and say, well, let me vote for you, and then go back to that, this post-handshake conversations? What have they done so far?
I want to borrow a leaf from the case of Igade and Sakaja,
yes,
just the other day. You saw the debate, how it went down, and it was so trivial to the extent the nitty-gritties of the issues affecting Nairobians were not captured. So you're trying to learn on the same, on what happened on the deputy presidential debate, where our deputy presidential candidate was almost being drawn into somewhat, my good sister talked of personal, we were supposed to talk of issues, national issues, talk of manufacturing, how the UHC is going to work, how the issue of housing, how the education system of this country can be repaired, because now it's gone to the dogs. So those are some of the things that the Secretariat is trying to look into. If the moderators are giving us assurance to the effect, they'll be discussed. So for the issue of attending, I don't want to preempt, because my presidential candidate has still an opportunity. Trust me, Simba, we might not have this discussion next week. Because
would you love him to attend, though?
Yeah,
and
love him
not
to
go
attend.
to Jericho.
I'm trying to be fair.
Yes.
I'd love him to attend.
Yes.
But at the same time, we should have an assurance from the moderators that the integrity is going to be captured. Because if you read that Hussein Mohamed communique, where he talked of they agreed and the presidential candidate is going to appear, there are a lot of things that they captured which did not express any commitment towards corruption and integrity in this country.
Yes.
You understand? So those are some of the things we are trying to look at. Not, not like we are trying to, the fourth estate, you play a very key role. And we are not trying to say that the debate is not
Morio,
well placed.
Every question, either a personality issue, either just knowing who your family is and whatever your family has done in this country, that question directed to a presidential candidate. Don't you understand that a presidential candidate becomes an office? Is that not what we know? So any question that any Kenyan might have stands. So why are we running away from personality questions? Because they are as important as they can be to any other Kenyan right now. To the likes of Lulu. You see Lulu saying, well, whether personality or not. Edwin is saying, well, we gotta know the personality issues for these people. Why is that a problem for your party?
Actually, I should emphasize on the same.
Yes.
It's good we have the clear character of these individuals, as you put it.
Indeed.
Because leadership is more of service. And it's an image that you're trying to reflect on behalf of a population.
Yes.
So it's key from where I'm seated. But it shouldn't be done in a way that disenfranchise the position or the advantage of a candidate in an election. You understand?
Yes.
So if you talk of William Ruto and you talk of the pledges he did initially, and you talk of Raila Odinga, and my brother talked of handshake, you realize Raila Odinga has suffered for this country in the sense he has lost, you know what we call political power.
Yes.
When we had, when we had the,
Morio, I'm still on your point. Lulu, the suffering of Raila Odinga, does it impact your vote in any way? Morio,
you know,
it's going to be on issue based, isn't it? Yes.
You know, let me
Edwin, let me ask you some question. Does it? Does it?
No.
Let me empower my good friends here.
It's
My friend,
about the suffering of
it,
50 million people.
trust me,
Not for one.
Yes.
when the late President Mwai Kibaki
Yes.
moved to Mau Forest,
Yes.
he really wanted to conserve that forest,
Yeah.
but he never had the political goodwill. You understand? So they used the former Prime Minister as a sacrificial lamb. And the Prime Minister, remember, he had a backing in the Rift Valley. It's on record. But at the expense of his political, I could say, influence,
Yes.
he went and conserved Mau. And majority of us are celebrating such decisions. Let's go to the superhighway. There are so many houses which are supposed to be demolished. But the Prime Minister is on record. The engineer was the very first among many who risked political influence to go for such changes. We go to the handshake. The handshake came in. The handshake. Listen.
I disagree with you on this
Let me finish my point.
Personally,
Yes.
I know several people who had like 5 floors of buildings that were brought down because of superhighway.
But now you have the
no one
superhighway.
spoke about it.
But now you have the
know?
superhighway.
So when you're talking about that, you need to have facts and figures right. Number one, you talked about the promises that these guys give. You know, when we are voting in a government, who are we voting in? Right? We have a ticket that has a presidential candidate with a deputy, right? We are voting both of them in.
Yes.
But whoever gets to ascend to the place of power, the highest place of power, is the president. He calls the shots. Now you are the president. Come tell me, like right now I'm seated here and I know 2 billion has gone. It doesn't make sense, you know? And then you're talking about the projects that we've had. Whoever is in charge of these projects, whoever is in charge of the government, needs to be answerable to that. Because now, if the guy, because the reality comes to it that Kenyatta wouldn't have become president without Ruto. But then what we have been seeing is a sidelining of the other party. Because I am very sure the idea of Stadia would have worked. Personally, when Lulu was talking, I felt so bad. Because when I was almost going to graduate, I had an issue with attachment. I wrote almost 100+ applications. I never got any. And we had a promise of that. So I'm concerned. I only got an opportunity to someone. So I really don't understand when you say this president, oh,
Yes.
That's where the problem is.
Yes.
Simba, you feel.
Yes. But Lulu, would jump in, Morio.
Simba, I feel for Muuna. I feel for Muuna for losing out on attachment opportunity.
Yes.
But I can promise you,
Yes.
in the first 100 days of the Azimio government,
No, that's the problem.
No, that's
we
it.
had
You
100
see,
days
those
for the
promises.
you see, you've tested you've tested the duo of Uhuru Kenyatta
Yes.
and William
No,
Ruto, but you've not tested Raila Odinga.
it's not
Lulu,
about
would jump in on that?
Let me ask
Yes,
you. Let me
yes.
ask you. If that's the case,
Yeah.
would Raila also change, for example, the health system in this country? Because I personally think, even just the COVID time we've had and all the funds we had over COVID were fit enough to fix the whole health system in Kenya. And where did they go?
Let me pick it from
What
there.
happened?
The
No,
issue-
honestly,
the issue-
honestly,
What's your person
honestly,
saying about
the
it? Yes,
person,
Lulu,
the
Lulu.
small person,
Yeah.
the small person, you know, from NHIF, you know, to the whole health system, the whole, you know, the whole
Yes.
thing would have been fixed with those funds, but look at it right now. Walking to Kenyatta right now, and a small person cannot be, you know, cannot be seeing the doctor without having, you know, the. Am I saying the truth? So you tell me how is that is going to be fixed, and if that will be
we only have
addressed.
45 seconds for this, so would you take 45 seconds?
Okay,
Yeah, and then after that we might.
The challenge you have with health, we tried to devolve it initially, and we saw what happened with the governors. So I think from where I'm seated in the Zimba government should go back to the national government. And under UHC, I think such issues will be covered. The issue of 2 billion daily, this one was exhausted. I feel for my president because the very, very people whom he was supposed to, take into account were within him. So he had no powers, honestly. We have a deputy president. Oh, my friend, listen. You see, the constitution protects the deputy president. There is no way the president could have sacked him. So for the 2 billion, I feel for my president.
15 seconds.
Yeah,
15 seconds.
Hypothetically,
Let
let me ask you, if Raila was in the place of Uhuru, what should he have done? Because now you're trying to say Uhuru has no power to take care of
Thank you. That's why I bring in the issue of personality. You cannot earn a coin without offering. My friend, William Ruto is no different from the deputy governor of West Pokot, who has been in the US all along for 5 years. Just came back. He should have resigned. He had no job.
Who has faced all trouble.
But he should have resigned. But he has been earning a salary.
He's the one person.
He has been utilizing electricity courtesy of the state.
8 million votes by these Kenyans. So he cannot just give up because 2-3 people.
Guys, yes.
You cannot. The cow cannot stop taking water because the frog is croaking.
Yes.
That's very
So
unfortunate.
we gotta stay strong for the Kenyans and represent the Kenyans.
Pretty much.
Yes.
Let's clear it. 5 seconds, Edwin.
Yes.
What issues would you like to, one issue really, what one issue would you like the presidential candidates tonight to handle? Just one response from you.
One issue.
Yes.
The flow of money.
The flow of money. Lulu, if indeed you're going to watch that debate, I hope you do. What one issue would you like the presidential candidates to address this evening?
Jobs and opportunities.
Job opportunities. Morio, I know the rest of the side has already, your side, you know exactly what they're going to talk about. Even if you go to Jericho, you know exactly what you're going to talk about. But the rest of the guys on that debate, what issue, just one of them, Morio, would you like for them to address?
Simba education.
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 Fantastic. Oof, this debate on your opinions could have never been better. Thank you very much to you, Edwin, Lulu, and Morio. Always a pleasure to have you around. Guess what? I'll call you guys back after that debate so we can put it into proper context, isn't it? Lulu, go watch it so that now you can see whether those guys actually spoke about your business. Yeah, please. Thank you very much. I wish I had, I still forget my phone. I would have loved to read those comments and messages that are coming in, but we are unfortunately out of time. But I do promise that we look into that and have it tomorrow as we review that debate after this evening's session. That is it for the Morning Drift. My name is Simba Kiage.